Go ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. Here around the chutes, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
Hello and welcome everyone to a special edition of Texas on Tap. Happy New Year to everyone. And this is a very special episode because we dove in and decided to do some end of year awards, have some nominees, and we have some special guests that you're going to get to hear their special voices that are supporters of the podcast that will be doing the presentations. Happy New Year. Hello, Kyle. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, for sure. I've missed the podcast as we've had a little downtime, which I didn't get to take advantage much of the downtime, but we have some really exciting stuff to do. So we want to go ahead and jump into those nominations.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like Miss Helen said, this is I guess it's our first annual Texas Toast Podcast Awards, and it's been really cool kind of gathering all this stuff and getting it together for you guys. And we couldn't have done it without the help of More Than Music Creations. So we wanted to give them a shout out. They're kind of helping us put this whole thing on this year. So, let's jump in.
Yeah, let's jump into, these were the nominees for Single of the Year. And this was all hard to pick, by the way. But Ariel, Hutchins, Stuck, Something in the Air, Lane Smith, You and a Honky Tonk, Randall King, When You Roll That Way, Case Hardin, and One Drink In, Donis Morris. And now to present this special award, we want to welcome Bree Bagwell, and she's going to announce who Single of the Year goes to.
Hey everybody, this is Bree Bagwell, and I am going to present the Texas Toast Podcast Single of the Year. So I guess that means that I didn't win, which is, I think it's fine. No, I'm just kidding. It's totally fine because I know the winner, and I'm real excited to tell you who it is. But first, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm just kidding. This is not about me. This is about the Texas Toast Podcast Single of the Year, and it goes out to my beautiful, wonderful friend, Ariel Hutchins, and it is Stuck.
Thank you so much, Bree, for that. And Stuck was one of our songs that when she released it, it was just, and I immediately bonded with the song. I've listened to it over and over and over. So congratulations for such a great single from Ariel.
Yeah, it's been stuck in my head for sure. So now let's go ahead and hear from Ariel and how she feels about the award.
Hey you guys, what's up? It's Ariel, and I just wanted to extend a big thank you for voting for my song Stuck for Single of the Year on the Texas Toast Podcast. It has been an incredible journey for me this year, and I could not do it without you guys, the fans, and everybody who just supports us. So I wanted to give a big old thank you, and I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
Well-deserved award on that one.
Absolutely, 100%. That song's going to be stuck in my head all through this year too.
Okay, so moving on now to Album of the Year. The nominees are as follows: Corazon y Cabeza, Bree Bagwell. What Else Can She Do, Caitlin Butts. Love and War, the Teague Brothers Band. Lunatics, Lovers, and Poets, the Western Express. All of these albums are so amazing, but Carly Evans is going to jump in, and she's going to announce Album of the Year.
Hey y'all, this is Carly Evans, co-host of the Troubadour podcast. I am honored to present this year's award for the Texas Toast Podcast Album of the Year. Our winner is no stranger to hard work, whether it's playing over 150 dates a year around Texas and beyond, or pouring her heart, soul, and talent into her music. That is evident once again in her latest project. And winner for Texas Toast Podcast Album of the Year, Bree Bagwell for Corazon y Cabeza.
Great album. I have a lot to say about that, but let's see what Bree has to say first.
Hello, everybody. This is Bree Bagwell, and I'm so honored. Thank you. Oh, no, there's barking. That's enough. I'm trying to accept an award over here. I worked really hard on this record, and it took a couple years and a lot of money and a lot of tears. And so, obviously, I would give most of the thanks to Rachel Loy, the producer, and all the musicians for being wonderful. And I'm so honored. Thank you. I'm a little biased. I love Kyle and Miss Helen, but I think that Texas Toast does a really great job at what they do. So thank you guys very, very much, and I really appreciate it. Okay, bye.
Well, and I just want to say something. I know that Bree is part, I mean, we're all like family, but that album is one of the most amazing albums I've ever listened to, and I listen to it all the time. When I was on the plane with all the trips that I made this past fall, there was one trip when we were going to St. Thomas, and I mean, like pretty much every landing and takeoff, I had table manners on, or I mean, like I was jamming. I mean, like, and it was like turbulence was really bad. It was coming from San Juan over to St. Thomas, and they put us on a bigger plane, thank God. But there was like this big, huge guy behind me crying because we were just bumping and dropping, and I'm just jamming to table
Jamming
manners.
out.
Yes. So, I mean, I have to listen to it at least once a day. Bree did such a great job on that. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's an inspiring album. And there's fun stuff, and there's great stuff, and there's such relatable stuff. But I could go on and on and on. So let's move on to Lone Star Award. This is our Texas Country Rising Star. And the great thing that I love about our podcast, Kyle, and everyone listening, is that we do talk to veterans, as you can see with our podcast. But I love when we get to talk to our up and comings and to the ones that are just digging in and getting their feet wet and digging into the business. So Lone Star Award nominees for our Texas Toast Podcast Awards, first ever this year: Josh Malloy, Donis Morris, Case Hardin, the band Laredo, and Lane Smith. And so our dear friend Nate Burnham's going to jump in and tell us who the winner is.
Hey y'all, Nate Burnham here. I know. I haven't heard of me either, but I'm here to present the Lone Star Award, which goes to the rising star in Texas country for 2022. Now, presenting a podcast award is not hard, in case you're wondering, but the award does go to Case Hardin. Congrats, my man, and I'm sure I'm the first person that's ever made that terrible play on words, huh? Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and just see myself out. My apologies, man. Hope I didn't ruin it. Congrats again, man. My bad. I'll just see y'all later.
Thank you so much, Nate. Nate always makes me laugh, and he's such a good guy too. So let's hear from Case. What did he have to say?
Hey y'all, it's Case Hardin. I really appreciate this, and it means a lot to be recognized with the Lone Star Award by the folks at Texas Toast Podcast. I wouldn't have been able to rise above and have the year I've had without the help from my great band, my agents and management, my sponsors and promoters, the rest of the Case Hardin team, Texas Country Radio, and of course, the listeners and fans of Texas Country and Red Dirt music. I'm excited for what our future holds, and I have no doubt we'll be party hardin' into big things this next year. I sure appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for everything.
Party Hardin.
Thank you, Case. And Case is another go-to in my playlist, and he does such a good job. And I can't wait to see what this year holds for Case Hardin. Okay, so we got a couple more awards. Let's go to the Shiner Award. And this is like the life of the party, the one that just walks in the room, brightens everything up. They just shine. And so the nominees for this award are Sarah Hobbs, Chad Cook Band, Nate Burnham, Clay Hollis, and Trent Cowie. And to tell us who the winner in this category is Nick Russo from 100.3 The Bull in Houston.
Hey, my name is Nick Russo from 100.3 The Bull, and I'm presenting the Texas Toast Podcast 2022 Shiner Award. This award isn't only for the Entertainer of the Year, but also for the coolest, funniest, best golfer, and hairiest artist of Texas country music. And the 2022 Texas Toast Shiner Award goes to Trent Cowie.
He knows our Trent very well, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he does.
All right, what's Trent got for us?
What's up, y'all? Trent Cowie here, and I'm beyond thankful to be accepting the 2022 Texas Toast Podcast Shiner Award. Thank y'all so much for the support this year. We've been kicking with Texas Toast for a long time now. We're looking forward to big things in 2023, and we'll see y'all soon.
There's Trent Cowie. Man, and I'm so proud of Trent. We're just coming off of his Toy Run Jam. Was that what it was called?
Toy Drive Jam, yeah.
Toy Drive Jam. And I was so proud of him. He did such a good job. He saw a need in the community. He was inspired and he followed through. And it was a huge success just for the first year. And not only that, but Trent's got some great stuff coming up this year too. Looking forward to that. So now I guess a lot of awards have like Entertainer of the Year. I guess for a podcast, Interview of the Year award is like the big award. We had so many inspiring interviews this year, but here are the nominees for our Interview of the Year: The Great Divide, Giovanni Yanez, Drew Cooper, Corey Morrow, and Joe Kelly. And of course, Gio is from Giovanni and the Hired Guns. And here to present our Interview of the Year award is our sweet friend Corliss from Maverick in College Station.
Howdy and Merry Christmas. It's Corliss from Maverick 100.9 in College Station and from the Cooking Corliss Christmas Textravaganza. I want to thank the Texas Toast podcast for having me on to present the award for Best Interview. Now, this is fan voted and the most downloaded episode of the year, and the award goes to The Great Divide.
The Great Divide, I look back on that interview, and when we were in the middle of doing that interview, Kyle, they were so inspired. They inspired me. It was just one of the most inspiring interviews to hear their story. And of course, the music that they have out now is amazing, and they're doing such great things, but they have a true story. And if you haven't heard that podcast yet, I encourage you to go back through our library and find the interview with The Great Divide, because it was truly one of the most amazing moments of the year to have them on the podcast. Just what they had to say and the words coming from their heart. Very
Absolutely.
Inspirational. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the chemistry those guys had during that call, it was so much fun, so much laughs and all that stuff. And there couldn't get a hold of those guys for an acceptance speech. So all that tells me is that they're just way too busy to be doing silly stuff like this. But I know that they're working hard, and so I can't imagine anything but a crazy busy 2023 for those guys.
Mm-hmm. So thank you, everyone. This was so much fun. It was a nail. I mean, like, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do when it was like, okay, we decided we were going to jump in and do this. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And it was kind of one of those things to where I hate to grocery shop when there's so many choices. That's why I'm not a big shopper, because I love everybody. But when I had to go in and start breaking them down, it was like, no, just stick with your first initial reaction. And so, yeah, this was a lot of fun,
Yep.
and we had a lot of fun this last year. And Kyle so graciously made a few notes. Our first episode of 2022 was that awesome interview where Corliss and I talked radio and strolled down memory lane, shared some stories, but also put some really good information out there for artists, and as far as, radio airplay, how to plan ahead, how to plan your radio tour. So that was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some other highlights too. I wanted to highlight our 1 year anniversary since we started the podcast was in March of this year, and
Yes.
that episode was Colby Cooper, which was obviously a big one, and that was a lot of fun. And he's
Yes,
been
that
doing
was a
some
good one.
amazing stuff since then.
I know. So proud of him. And you know what's funny? Our 1 year anniversary is our anniversary date for the podcast is St. Patrick's Day, which I think is
Yeah,
so cool. So
that
I
is
think
very
we
cool.
should plan a 2-year birthday party and have a St. Patty's Day big
Ooh.
party. And something else that kicked our year off last year, we got to head out to the Lone Star Luau with Tom Shepard.
Mhm.
That was a
Yep,
lot of fun at Margaritaville. A
that
couple of
was.
other things, yes. And then, of course, we talked about the Great Divides interview, the most downloaded episode. And also, Giovanni and the Hired Guns was one of our most downloaded episodes.
Yeah, they're creeping up quick. That's obviously more recent episode than the Great Divide, but I think Gio might pass those guys up here in the next week or so.
And that was such a fun interview too. It was just like talking to somebody in your family. I mean, he just was so open about things, so humble about
Mhm.
things. And I will be bringing in the new year with Gio.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be at Schrader.
Yes,
Love
going to
that.
be bringing in the new year with him. And then
Oh man.
our biggest month for our most downloads was in October with Donis Moras, John Hope, The Great Divide, and Brad Russell, which those were all great interviews. And
Mhm.
speaking of those, I was thinking about this and I wish I could have. I'm going to start keeping a list of, if you were a cocktail, what would you be? And I think John Hope had the most interesting cocktail of the year, because he was talking about, and I can't remember, I didn't have a chance to go back and listen to the audio, but it sounded like an amazing drink that he gets that they serve at White Elephant, which I never got to jump in there during Texas Country Music Awards. And I'm going to do that next year and check out that drink that John Hope was talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember what he was talking about, man. Yeah, that's funny you say White Elephant. We all wanted to go after Bree played at Billy Bob's this last week, and it was the day everything came in and we got dumped on by snow, and it was 7 degrees outside, and ended up just having to call it a night because we were all almost frozen solid by the time we got our
I
gear out of
know.
there.
It's been so cold. And
Yeah.
and I guess a couple of other events that were interesting during the year, actually in attendance at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards, which, believe it or not, they're going to be coming up right around the corner. And then
Yep.
we had a big time at the Texas Country Music Awards as we worked the red carpet and got to hang out with everybody and see like some big awards.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been a crazy awesome year, and it's our first full year as a team and a podcast. So like always, I'm just super grateful, and all the people we've met, and everybody's so awesome and helpful and welcoming, and it's just the coolest community I could ask to be a part of.
Okay, so now I've got the end of year charts here. We're going to look at some of that, brought to you by morethanmusiccreations.com. And I'm going to look at the top 10 on each of these. And I encourage everyone, if you're a big Texas country music fan, go to all these sites because so many great songs are in the top 200 charts for the end of the year. But on Texas Regional Radio Report, the top 200 of 200, top 10, coming in at number 10, Lovesick Drifting Cowboy was James Robert Webb. Love's Got a Hold on You, Bart Crow Band at number 9. Telling on My Heart, Casey Donahue was at number 8. John Wayne, Whiskey Myers. I still remember when that song came out this year. Number 6, A Cowgirl Like You, John Wolfe. Working Man's Woman, Jesse Robb Jr. was at number 5. Number 4 is Wildflower from Love and Chaos featuring William Brown. Number 3, All You Got, William Clark Green. Number 2, Like a Hurricane, Cody Jinks. And number 1 on the top 200 of 2022. This is 2022, right?
What year is it? Yeah.
Yeah, what year is this? But number 1 goes to the Josh Abbott Band, The Highway Kind, and that's the top 10 on the Texas Regional Radio Report for the year-ending chart. Okay, Texas Country Music Chart, top 200 songs of 2022. We're going to look at the top 10 on this year-end chart. Number 10 was Whiskey Myers with John Wayne. Number 9, Ken Fo featuring Terry McBride with Wild Horses. Number 8 was The Wilder Blue, Wave Dancer. Casey Donahue at number 7 with Built Different. Aaron Watson's Unwanted Man was number 6. William Clark Green, All You Got was number 5. Josh Abbott Band, The Highway Kind at number 4. Wade Bowen, Everything Has Your Memory, came in at number 3. Number 2, Kyle Park, What You Drinking Song. And number 1 on the Texas Country Music Chart for the year 2022 is Casey Donahue, Telling on My Heart. And that was such a great song, and he had a really good run with that one. CD Extraction Texas, year-end top 10, All You Got, William Clark Green. Cody Johnson's Human at number 9. A Cowgirl Like You, John Wolfe at number 8. Telling on My Heart, Casey Donahue at number 7. John Wayne, Whiskey Myers is number 6. Unwanted Man from Aaron Watson is at number 5. The Wilder Blue, Wave Dancer, number 4. The Highway Kind, Josh Abbott Band is at number 3. Number 2, What You Drinking Song, Kyle Park. And number 1 on CD Extraction Texas for this year is Till You Can't, Cody Johnson. So that's a look at the top 10 songs, but so many great people made, and it's such an honor for you to make that year-end chart. So I had to cover that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and speaking of Wilder Blue, if you guys are in the Austin area, they're going to be playing at the O4 Center tonight in Austin, and then I think they're out in McKinney at Local Yokel tomorrow. So there's still a bunch of people out there gigging to wrap up the year. So if you guys don't have any crazy big party plans for New Year's Eve or New Year's Eve, get on out there and see a show.
Yes, there's a lot of good New Year's Eve shows. It's just a matter of you researching your area and support your local dance halls and your local venues and I say that because there's been a lot of discussion. I've talked to so many friends over this, past few weeks with Schrader Dance Hall, this being New Year's Eve being the last show there. And, there's a lot of things that people had some input, this and that and this and that. Well, let's not talk about this and that. Let's support our local venues and our artists. Go to those shows and tip them and support them, and venues pay them.
Well, before we wrap it up, let's jump into the More Than Music Creations giveaway that we did on Instagram.
Yes, how fun. Thank you so much to More Than Music Creations for being so generous to pop in with this nice little end of year surprise to award one of our great podcast listeners with a really, really nice prize.
Yep. So we're giving away, it's a part of, or I guess it's the Kindred Spirit set in their King collection, which is Kids in a New Groove. And Kids in a New Groove is the organization based in Austin that they give a portion of their proceeds to. And that organization essentially helps kids in the foster system with music mentorship, so they can either, get music lessons, learn how to play an instrument, or just have like a music mentor in the area. So it's awesome thing that they're doing. More Than Music is just, they're built on a solid foundation with a good cause. So it's really cool to be able to partner with them and also give away an awesome jewelry set like this. So what I've got here is a bowl with all the entries that we got on Instagram. So I'm literally just mixing them up. I'm going to grab one. And then once I pick the winner, we will obviously announce it here, and then we'll reach out to you on Instagram to get your address and all that stuff. And we'll throw you in some Texas Toast swag as well. So let's do this thing. Or I'll put a little drum roll in right here. All right, this is our winner. All right, the winner is Tyler Sekula. Hopefully that's how you say that, but Tyler Sekula. So congrats, Tyler. We will reach out to you on Instagram and get all that going. Appreciate you for giving us a follow and tagging some other folks, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Hopefully everyone else who entered the contest is enjoying the show as well and sharing it and spreading the love. We got some really big stuff in the works for next year. We've got God, that's so crazy. We've been away for a couple weeks. I can't even remember who's coming out next week. We just did John Bauman earlier this week, so that was really cool. But yeah, I've got quite a few people on the books next year already, so just keeping chugging along, I guess.
Yeah, brand new year, here we go, jumping right in.
I guess we can talk about maybe some New Year's resolutions next week.
Yeah. Well, we kind of had that discussion. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it next week, because I don't roll like that. But
right. Yeah, we'll reflect on what we did last
Yes.
year, and then we'll kind of come back to it. I like that idea.
For sure. I still remember what my goal was, not resolution, goal.
Your goal.
And it had to do with fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Cool. Well, I don't have anything else. Happy New Year. It's been a great one, and I think this went really well. Kind of flew by the seat of our pants, but it was a lot of fun.
Yes. And thank you everyone for supporting the podcast. And like, Kyle and I talk about this a lot. We work really hard. We have a passion for Texas music and the independent artists that we have on. And I can tell you, behind the scenes in the industry, there's a lot of big things that are going to happen this year. A lot of big things, and there was, well, we'll cover that as it progresses this year, but I've been in on some meetings with some industry people that's supporting the. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, speaking of, what's the awards that Texas Country Music Awards, Industry Awards? See, that's another thing that's brand new this year. Texas Country Music Association is doing industry awards that rewards the actual people working in the industry, like you, tour manager, like us, podcast managers, production people, engineer people, studio people, music teachers. Yeah. So check that out if you haven't checked that out yet.
Yeah, I guess the nominations for that are still being voted for. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that in a while.
I think January 15th is whenever they'll move it to the finals or semifinals or something. But right now it's just your write-in votes for those folks. Yeah. So again, that's an indicator of some really cool stuff that's going to come in 2023.
Right. Yeah, and I think they're doing that awards show is going to be in Waco. I can't remember exactly when, either May or sometime in March.
It's in July.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm totally wrong. What else is new?
Yeah. It's in July. Yeah. So that's a ways down the road. Let's get through let's get through the T3Rs first, and let's let Miss Helen get through this podcast without really messing it up. So you better get me off of here real quick.
All right. Well, congrats to all the winners and all the nominees and everybody who did some presentations for us. Thank you so much. You guys mean the world to us. And on to 2023. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and cheers.
Cheers.
And with a heavy tongue, she knew where I was from. As she left, I dare to say, well, you can go to hell. Hell, I'll go to Texas. I've had my fill of every place but home.